What's going on, y'all? So listen. So we are back again. Hey y'all, happy Halloween. Okay, listen. We are back. We are back for another episode review of Empire. Empire didn't come on last week, nor did Star because of the World Series. So we are now back on track. This is episode 5 out of season 5, The Death of Grief. This was actually a pretty good episode to me. It wasn't really much, but it was really cute though. It had some corny ass moments that I actually thought was pretty at the end. I said, look at this corny ass cute shit. Ew. But but anyway, let's get into the episode. Basically, I just want to go person by person at this point. We got Jamal. He's still waiting on Kai. He's still trying to figure out what's going on with Kai. Okay, is he alive? Did they find him? What's the update? What's the status? And he's looking at the news with his mom, and next thing you know, he gets a phone call, and they're telling him that Kai has been found. He's about to be at the hospital, and I'm sitting here like, damn, bitch. So y'all had already had him in the freaking thing. Y'all brought him back to America already, and y'all didn't tell him that y'all found him first. Y'all already shipped him back to America because remember, he was in a third world country, okay, a war-torn country, I should say. And so he was already back in New York, wherever they at, and they in the hospital to the point that they can just easily drive down there and go see him. I was like, okay, TV magic, all right. And so of course, he goes down there and he sees him and they're kissing. What? What? Well, I was like, okay, stop it. You're doing too much. I have a problem with public PDA sometimes. Sometimes I be like, oh, that's cute. Other times I be like, bitch, if you don't stop, y'all doing the fucking most. Now I was in the midst of both of them feelings, but I let it pass because Jamal hasn't seen his boo. He been worried about him, trying to see if he's okay. And now he finally found out that he's okay. He was about to have a nervous breakdown. Now he's all in love. And the doctor was about to tell him some more stuff. And it was like, y'all can leave, and then when I finish, y'all can come back and have this reunion or whatever. And Kyle was like, nah, bitch, this family, okay? And so you can tell me whatever it is that you need to tell me in front of all of them. And so at this point, they started talking and saying, the laceration that's on your arm is, kind of superficial. Got a couple of stitches in there that's going to dissolve. And, your viral load's kind of high. And that's to be suspected because you have been off your HIV meds, since you've been captured and all that stuff. And we can get you back to being undetectable. And at this point, Cookie hears HIV and was like, bitch, what? Jamal, let me speak to you. What the fuck is you doing with this man? Why is they talking about some HIV? He got HIV. You got HIV? No, mama, I don't have HIV. She was like, I don't want you with nobody with HIV so you can get sick and all this stuff. I appreciate this episode because when I first looked at, this part, it was just showing the ignorance of what people feel even now in 2018 when we have so many materials, so much more information on the difference between HIV and the difference between AIDS, okay? And people still to this day in 2018 do not know the difference, do not know anything about it, do not know how they're still ignorant to the fact of way it can be spread. HIV can be spread. It can be obtained. It's not just what they called it back in the 80s or whatever when they first found out about it, AIDS and stuff being a gay disease or whatever. And so it truly showed Cookie's ignorance to this whole thing. And you look at it as her being ignorant to the fact that she had HIV and he didn't want she didn't want her son to get it, okay? Or you could just look at it as the worry that any parent or person would have when they find out somebody that's with somebody that they love is HIV positive or have AIDS, and they don't want that to happen to their own loved one, okay? And so I appreciate this because later on, we see Cookie looking up, trying to educate herself a little bit on the subject, and she gets, interrupted when Carol and Candace come in, and Candace like, what you doing looking up HIV? Wait a minute, who got HIV? And this is what happens sometimes in certain people's families, amongst people's friends or whatever, when you have that one ignorant or judgmental person in the group that they go off of hearsay. They go off of what they heard and what they think, and this old line of thinking or whatever, without even looking up the information, and don't care to look up the information, especially those who are older and set in their ways, just like Candace. Okay, she's talking about some, who got HIV, and Cookie tried to, cover it up, saying she just thinking about signing somebody who has HIV and how that'd affect everything. And here go Candace immediately start disinfecting her hands with the sanitizer and talking all this mess, and those people this and those people are reckless, and you shouldn't work with him because you don't want that to bring down your brand and all this stuff. Baby, in 2018, that's gonna be a good look. Okay, and I'm not saying having AIDS or whatever, that's showing that you are diverse, you're not discriminatory, and that you don't focus on what a person has. As long as they're taking care of themselves, that shouldn't matter. You're literally focusing on their talent or whatever, and that's going to bring more people coming in because they see, oh, you're inclusive as fuck. Okay, you accept everybody for who they are. And for her to sit there and talk about those people and this and all this shit, and I'm sitting here like, you do realize that, did give an example of the pastor who was so-called sleeping with a whole bunch of men in the church and gave the first lady AIDS or whatever, and now she died. And the ignorance, okay? Mind you, she got a bruise on her hand talking about something she got it from cycling, her soul cycle class. Bitch, like Cookie said, so you was pedaling with your hands instead of your feet. Okay, it just didn't make sense. And then Carol was like, we did see you and Kevin out there arguing. Girl, he would never. I said, sounds like an abused woman up here trying to cover up the fact that she getting her ass beat, but trying to judge other people who live in their truth. You know what I'm saying? I said, girl, if you don't get the hell up out of here. But whatever. So, keeping on the line of Jamal and the family or whatever, um Lucius was with Devon and had him in the studio, well, in their house or whatever, trying to sing the song that he wrote. And he was just trying to get him. I love the fact, what I'm loving about this season right now, we got this Empire takeover where, Empire is no longer in the hands of the Lions, okay? And then you see how it was run, and we appreciate the way it's like we took for granted the way Empire was being run in the beginning when they was under the helms of the Lions, and now we see how it's being ran under the Kinsley administration. That's what we gonna call it, because bitch, that's how he's running it. He's all about tech and all these and what the numbers say. When Tiana tried to go in there and to, bring her song over there, and it's the song that she did with Blake, the one that Hakeem gave Blake. See, Hakeem should have specified, okay? Do you want me to do, you can't use my lyrics, but you can use the song, the music or whatever. And anyway, he was playing it. Here go Becky, she bumping to it, she thinking that it's good. Dude telling Tiana to scrap it because you didn't use the buzzword. You up here got an unknown artist on here, an unsigned artist and all this stuff. This ain't what we want and all this. And Tiana goes ahead and she releases the album herself, the song herself. And of course, Kingsley gets pissed off and gives her other song that she already did to fucking Treasure. I can't stand that bitch. Treasure, I liked you in the beginning because you was somebody that we could relate to. Somebody out here still, working 9 to 5 and still living in the hood or whatever, trying to survive, who had a dream and now her dream was finna come through. Now, bitch, this bitch that got big headed as shit, and I'm just not here for it, okay? I hope you fail. I really do. I don't like when people do that stuff. But she released the thing and they get mad at her because of it. And I'm just like, okay, Hakeem ain't gonna like this. He see the song and he see the picture of how close they were, and he's upset because that's his words that he wrote. And I'm like, well, you did give him the song. You should have specified. Okay, you making a scene at the little album release or the song release party for Lil Divine. Back to him. Like what I was saying, Lucius, on the other hand, in his comparing Empire to what used to be Empire, you see how, Kingsley is just about the numbers. Kingsley is about buzzwords and all this stuff and running the thing like it's a business, like it's a tech company. And that's what happens when you got a lot of these companies who have people who are the CEOs and who buy stocks and stuff and want to give their opinion and have no idea how to run that said business, okay? You are a tech person coming in trying to run a music empire, okay? That's not how it goes. Of course, it's not going to be no feeling. As well as when you look at Lucius, who is actually taking time to mold Divine and, get that passion out of him. And he's trying to get him to put some soul behind his vocals and not let everything sound so basic and generic. Yes, you can sing, but can you make people feel it? Bitch, Divine was singing up there like Ariana Grande. I ain't gonna lie. Ain't no soul behind Ariana Grande's voice. Okay, she can sing her ass off, but ain't no soul to make me feel it. And that's probably why I can't get into her like that. And so, he was trying to shop him around to get a record deal from this one dude that they was cool with. He kind of passed for a minute, but then said, come to the little single release party or whatever to see what it is. And, Devon goes and work with Jamal to get the stuff out of him. And it was cute at the little single party when they got up there and did their little song together. I was like, this sounds nice. And it sounds like Empire is trying to get back to the music that really we liked in the season ones and season two. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, this is some really nice music. And of course, oh boy finally want to come around and sign Devon. And they said, no, boo-boo, the price that we had before is doubled. And he was like, okay, cool. Y'all trying to play me, but I'll take him, okay? And so that was a cute little moment. Also, within that single release party, we see that, Cookie want to talk to Kai about his HIV status. And, she's getting it from the fact that she's seen people with AIDS in prison and how that turned people out, and you could barely recognize them. And he was like, baby, I'm undetectable and I don't have AIDS. I have HIV. And I know I love your son just as much as you love him, and I would never ever try to hurt him and do anything like that. And they come to us understanding. She realizes that he really do love her. Mind you, surprisingly, you have Lucius, who was so ignorant in the first 3.5 seasons, when it comes to Jamal and his partners and what he chooses to do with his life or whatever, be the grown man that he is. You had him being so ignorant about the fact that he was gay. And when Cookie brought it up to Lucius about Kai being HIV and Jamal isn't, but he's still HIV, Lucius said, we can't do nothing but mind our damn business and hope that our son do what he got to do that's right for him. And I was like, look at fucking you. And that's why Cookie even had to say, is this Lucius or Dwight? I said, bitch, it's the motherfucker that got the common sense, okay? Your son is out your care. The parents fail to realize that as soon as they become adults, they be out your care. You can still love them, still care about them, but you cannot make them do what they gonna do anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good look. And, at the end of the episode, well, at the listening party, mind you, Tiana and Hakeem, they trying to get back on track or whatever. We seen them first up in the house, doing it and all that stuff, coming off of that. He ain't living at home. He trying to come back home and all that stuff. And she was about to give him another chance. And then we get a little backstory as to what he's been going through, or they both been going through this whole time. Had no idea that, when Tiana was pregnant, she was pregnant with twins and she lost a daughter. I said, what in the Greenleaf is going on? Remember when Charity on Greenleaf was pregnant with twins and she lost the baby girl? Okay. I said, oh, that's fucked up. So that's part of the reason why he's spiraling out of control, because he don't know how to deal with his grief. And that's part of the reason why he got upset about that song, because that song was the way that he was able to communicate that grief about losing his daughter, and then have somebody else speaking his words. But once again, you gave that shit to him. So what the fuck was he supposed to do? It is what it is. And of course he gets upset with Blake because Blake's come through, talking to Tiana like, why did you put this song out? I didn't want you to put the song out. What's going on? You should have asked me or whatever. And then of course Hakeem confronted Blake and they get into a fight, and it's so fucked up because people would have understood, and I'm pretty sure Tiana would have understood had she known, and had he went about it in a better way. And that's Hakeem's thing. He's so headstrong. He don't think before he do things. He just act on instinct. He act on reflex and stuff like that. And that's what's gonna get him fucked up. And that's why she was like, she done. She done with the shit. And I was like, damn, okay. And so then at the end of the episode, it wasn't much. Kai got down on his knees and he proposed to Jamal. Jamal was like, so you gonna steal my move? He was like, what you talking about? And next thing you know, Jamal pulls out his box, and here go Kai. Kai had a better reaction to the fact that he was about to get proposed to and shocked about the fact that they was on the same page than Jamal did. And he was just like, let me get up, let me get up. He was like, no, you stay down on the floor. We can do this together. And they proposed to each other. And so now they're going to be a happy little couple, be husband and husband. And it was cute. And that's how the episode ended. Next week, bitch, once we always think that, you know, they gonna come out on top or whatever. They seem like they coming out on top and they getting out the mud of, being set back and all this shit. Something always happen to throw a monkey wrench in the goddamn plan. Y'all saw that shit on the goddamn preview for next week when they trying to get that money for the company and he gonna Lucius going to the poker game and he thinking he gonna win. First of all, it's a 500,000 buy-in. Okay. Next thing you know, the whole gang get jacked. I said, ain't this some shit? And then let me just put this stuff with Andre. Andre, he was sitting with his old friends from college or whatever. They was being judgmental as fuck about people in prison and he had to set their ass straight. And of course, he trying to come up with a fund or a way to help those that was in prison that he got close to that he left in there, and mainly Quincy. And he went down there to talk to Quincy and his mom and to tell him what was going on. And the mom, was like thinking that Andre was in there in jail as well for he was innocent. And Andre said, I never said I was innocent. I killed that bitch. I killed that bitch because that bitch took everything from me. Okay. So you don't regret what you did. I said I wouldn't regret killing that hoe either. Okay. And so he had to talk to her. And of course, he talked her down. And I said, why don't y'all just go ahead and fuck? Okay. Because y'all know that's where it's leading to. Give him a little bit of love in his life. So he seemed like he on his meds and they regulated and shit. And he seems like a decent person right about now. So give him some ass to, even him out a little bit. But that was Empire. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. And I'll see y'all later for Star. Peace.